Welcome to Tips for Preparing a Competitive NSLI application. In this video, we'll talk about the different application components, what kind of student NSLI is looking for, and the selection process. Before you watch this video, we recommend that you watch our video on completing a NSLI Flex and Yes Abroad application to familiarize yourself with the application process. This video is specific for students applying to the NSLI program. First, let's review the NSLI program goals. To increase the number of young Americans with the language skills necessary to advance international dialogue, promote economic prosperity and innovation worldwide, and contribute to national security and global stability by building understanding across cultures. To improve Americans' ability to engage with the people of Arabic, Chinese, Hindi, Indonesian, Korean, Persian, Russian, and Turkish-speaking locations through shared language. To provide a tangible incentive for the learning and use of foreign language by creating overseas language study opportunities for U.S. high school students. And to spark a lifetime interest in foreign languages and cultures among American youth. These goals can be referenced on the NSLI website under What is NSLI? We encourage you to keep these and your own goals in mind as you prepare your application.
Keeping these goals in mind can shed light on what kind of applicant NSLI is looking for. NSLI seeks applicants who represent the diversity of the United States. Students of all racial, national origins, religious, gender identities and expression, sexual orientations, disabilities, and socioeconomic backgrounds are encouraged to apply. Previous language study is not required. Students of all language abilities are invited to apply. The core eligibility requirements include the following. Participants must be a U.S. citizen, hold a GPA of 2.5 or higher on a 4.0 scale or the equivalent, be 15 to 18 years of age at the start of the program, and be enrolled in high school at the time of application. Additionally, students whose immediate family members are Department of State employees or contractors, USAID employees or contractors, or employees of private or public organizations who provide services on behalf of the U.S. Department of State exchange programs are not eligible to apply for NSLI. Please review the website for more detail on the eligibility requirements. Students must meet all eligibility requirements to be considered for a program scholarship. Beyond these eligibility requirements, NSLI seeks applicants who can demonstrate that they can be successful on program. Competitive applicants demonstrate that they are motivated to seriously study the target language, eager to learn about foreign cultures and experience a new way of life, mature, flexible, and prepared for the challenges of an overseas immersion experience. Applicants should keep in mind that NSLI is an intensive academic program and participants must be able to focus for several hours a day during the language and cultural classes. Students must be able to work in groups and treat others respectfully and appropriately. Students will need to perform necessary self-care, including managing any medications and medical conditions. Students will also be expected to be able to commute independently to and from the classroom. This may take up to 60 minutes each way. Students will also need to be able to receive a visa for host locations that require a visa and be cleared by the medical review team to participate in the program. Please review the website for more detail on the eligibility and participation requirements. In addition to the considerations mentioned above, the Youth Programs Division of the U.S. Department of State's Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs, ECA, seeks to make youth exchange programs funded by ECA available to a wide and diverse American audience. Preference may be given to applicants who have not had opportunities to travel or study abroad, do not have access to critical language resources in their home community, live in a U.S. state or U.S. territory underrepresented and study abroad, identify with the community that is underrepresented and study abroad, or would not be able to otherwise study abroad. This is a competitive application process. Typically, around 1 in 5 applicants are offered a scholarship. In a given year, we may receive around 3,000 applications for approximately 600 scholarships. Historically, the selection rate has been between 18 to 25%. For further information on the application review process, Applicants should review the selection process information on the NSLI for Youth website in the How to Apply section.
The application for the summer 2023 and academic year 2023 to 2024 programs is now available on our website. The online application must be submitted by 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, November 3rd, 2022. The deadline is 4 p.m. Eastern Time. This is especially important for applicants in the Midwest, Mountain States, and West Coast to keep in mind. The application form will close promptly at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Late applications will not be accepted. Completing a competitive application takes a significant amount of time, so we encourage you to start working on your application as soon as possible. Next, we will focus on essay preparation, choosing your recommender, and identifying your preferences. If you have questions about sections we do not review in this video, you are welcome to contact us. We will start by sharing some general tips on preparing your essays. Be honest and authentic, and share substantive content with enthusiasm. Use the essays as a space to showcase your personality and consider what sets you apart from other applicants. Show, don't tell. Provide illustrative examples from your life when applicable. Express yourself and show that you can write with a strong command of the English language. Do not prepare in one sitting. Review, revise, and copy edit. While the essays must be entirely constructed by the applicant, it is acceptable and is in fact a good idea to ask for feedback from a parent, teacher, or peer. Make sure you allow for enough time to do so before the application deadline. Remember to prepare essays in a word processing document outside of the application system to ensure that you won't lose your work. It's also a good idea to keep in mind the NSLI program goals while you write and refer to them often.
The self-introduction to your host family and instructors includes questions about your personality, relationships with family and friends, activities, the role you might play within a host family, and your education and career goals. Your letter will be read as a part of your application and may be shared with your host family or instructors if you are selected. Consider formatting your response like an actual letter with a salutation and closing. Some suggestions for preparing a host family letter. Address all the bolded questions in your letter. Consider what you would want to know about a student living in your home. Think about the tone you are using to present yourself while showing your personality. Tell your story. Show elements of your personality and your interests that evaluators can't learn about you from other parts of your application. For Essay 1, applicants will be asked to answer one of two prompts. Brainstorm and be thoughtful in selecting the topic. Consider situations that relate to a study abroad experience. Make sure the situation is relevant, appropriate, and personalized with you as the central figure. Address what you have learned and/or how you have grown from each experience. If discussing something unfortunate or tragic that has happened, make sure to mention how you overcame or continue to overcome the challenge and the relevant positives that have come from the experience. If trying to be quirky or funny, ensure the tone is authentic and not forced, inappropriate, or unnatural.
The second essay must be completed if you have academic year as one or both of your preferences. Summer applicants do not need to complete this essay. If you are a summer applicant, simply click the radio button indicating you are a summer applicant. Academic year applicants should select one of the two prompts to answer, and they should be sure to talk about how they have grown from the experience. The third essay for NSLI applicants asks applicants to explain their choice of language preference and explain 3 reasons why they want to participate in NSLI. Your response should focus on your first choice, but you can also discuss your second choice if applicable. Articulate 3 distinct reasons you want to participate in NSLI. As you prepare your language preference explanation and motivations for applying for NSLI, consider the NSLI program goals and main program components. Reflect on how NSLI can further your academic and professional goals and how you may use your language or culture skills in the future. Link your explanation to any relevant previous language experience you may have. And lastly, discuss your motivations for language study.
When considering who to ask to write the recommendation, we suggest you consider asking an adult not related to you with whom you have engaged in the last 2 years. Recommendations could come from teachers, counselors, advisors, school administrators, mentors, coaches, employers, youth organization leaders or counselors, etc. The recommender will be asked to address your personal attributes, maturity, communication skills, relationship with others, motivation for applying, and skills. Unless you are in the 9th grade, we strongly suggest that you avoid asking middle school teachers to complete the recommendation. Make sure to input the correct email address. If your recommender does not receive the email message, it may be in the spam or junk mail folders, as emails from our application system to K-12 email addresses are often routed to junk mail folders. You can change contact information in this section after you have submitted the application. Be careful, because any changes in contact information will erase any online recommendation form that was already in progress or had already been submitted. You can monitor your recommendation progress within this section by logging into your application and clicking on Section 14. The application system will indicate when the recommendation link has been opened and when the recommendation has been saved and submitted.
NSLI plans to offer summer programs in 8 languages and academic year programs in 6 languages. Refer to the chart to review which languages are being offered for 2023-2024. Note that there will not be an academic year program for Indonesian and Persian. Programs are expected to take place in person if conditions allow. If you're having trouble deciding on preferences, research the languages and host locations. Reflect on which languages you would most like to learn and which cultures you would most like to experience. NSLI is a rigorous program, and having a level of prior interest will help motivate you during the program if you are selected as a finalist. Speak with a guidance counselor and your family to discern whether summer or academic year is a better option for you. Remember that students graduating from high school, but enrolled in high school at the time of application, are eligible to apply. NSLI could be a gap year type program for you. Only one preference is required, but you may indicate a second preference. Any can be selected for the second language preference. Double-check your preference choices before submitting your application. It's easy to make a mistake with the drop-down menu. Your language and duration preferences will appear in ranked order in a table under the drop-down menu. A few more important notes and suggestions. Do not wait until the last minute to submit. NSLI cannot extend the deadline, nor can NSLI assume responsibility for technical problems in submitting the application. Consider submitting your application a few days or even a week early. Due to limited staff resources, we may not be available to answer your questions on November 3rd. Please try to submit your application early so we have time to support you if you have technical difficulties. Remember that the 4 p.m. deadline is in the Eastern Time Zone. Check with parents, recommenders, and school officials to see that they have submitted their portions. You can also check this on the application site. These are due online by 4 p.m. Eastern Time on November 10th. Semifinalist notifications will be made in December. For further information on the application timeline, we recommend reviewing the 2023-24 timeline under the How to Apply tab of the website. The NSLI social media sites will be regularly updated with application tips and reminders. The NSLI Facebook page and the Facebook group Ask NSLI Alumni are a great way to support one another and learn from the experience of alumni. Explore multimedia stories about NSLI summer and academic year programs on NSLI Interactive. There are also virtual events throughout the academic year. Visit the site for more information. If you have questions as you work on your application, please do not hesitate to be in touch.